Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now today, I would like to take the time to talk about Microsoft, and in particular, the Xbox 360's digital store closing. Now with the announcement that Microsoft will be closing the Xbox 360 digital store in June of 2024, this officially puts the gaming industry in a situation where all three major console holders have at least flirted with the idea of closing their legacy digital stores. And with this development comes yet one more case that can very easily be made for the continuation of physical games being produced. Because the fact of the matter, once all is said and done, when a digital storefront goes away, there's an extremely high probability that those digital exclusive games will vanish right along with them. Now, let's take a look at how each of the big three have handled the closing of their digital storefronts thus far. Okay, we're going to start this analysis with Nintendo. Nintendo was the first of the big three to do this, not simply just flirt with the idea, and they've already done it more than once. First with the Wii, way back in May of 2014, then with the Wii U and the 3DS, just this past March of 2023. Now with this happening two times, you would have thought that Nintendo's fanbase would have at the very least raised a little bit of a fuss about this. Now don't get me wrong, there were some people that were upset, but nowhere near the amount of people that actually should have been upset. And when you look at Nintendo's legacy systems, you can only imagine the amount of digital exclusives to be had that are now gone, never to be seen again. Now the good news is that if you've already purchased something and it's in your account, you can actually still download it. But having the digital store closed means wiping games out of existence, with the exception being the lucky few that have certain games here and there. What's worse, when you go on Nintendo's own site, in their own words, at some point, you won't be able to re-download the things that you've purchased. And if you don't believe me, or you feel I'm hating or anything like that, you can see for yourself. Go right to Nintendo's website and go look for yourself. Now the fact that this happened twice should have been more than enough to make people see the importance of having physical games still exist. Especially when you take into account that over 1,000 digital-only games were wiped away with what Nintendo did. Which brings us to the second member of the big three to at least flirt with the idea of having their store closed. Now this brings us to Sony. So far, this is the one that's most interesting. This is a situation where the people raised their voices and got the results they wanted. Back in July of 2021, Sony announced that they were focused on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4, while at the same time closing down their legacy stores in the PS3 and the PS Vita. Now initially, there wasn't too much pushback. However, as time went on and we got closer and closer to that closing date, the PlayStation audience became more and more vocal, and it became such a hot button issue that Sony pulled a 180 and reversed their decision. Personally, in my opinion, in this age where game preservation is one of the issues at the forefront of the industry, these digital stores shouldn't be closing. Every game company out there right now that's in the business is making money hand over fist. Keeping their older stores open isn't some big strain on their giant profits. And you can say whatever it is that you want about PlayStation's fan base, but one thing they are is vocal. And they don't just take anything just because Sony says so. And you know what? That's how it should be. I respect that. You can be a fan of something, of anything, and admit when the platform that you buy into is doing something wrong. It's called being objective. It's what we should all strive to be. So far, we have one company in Nintendo that's already done this twice. Then we have Sony, who did the right thing in my opinion, and reversed their decision. Now we have the third member of the big three platform holders with their own closure announcement. Now this brings us to Microsoft. Microsoft is the last to announce the closure of their legacy store, with the Xbox 360 store going away July of next year. Now as of right now, there isn't all that much fanfare or uproar about that. That can very well change as the closure date gets closer. After all, when Sony first announced their own legacy store closing, there wasn't all that much uproar until the time got close. When that time got close, that's when PlayStation's fan base started letting their voice get heard and it got really loud, really quick. Now I'll tell you, admittedly, I'm not an Xbox guy, but I honestly hope that Microsoft's Xbox fans get just as vocal as the PlayStation fans did. The big issue for me personally is that of the three, Microsoft were the ones that by far were the most vocal in regards to game preservation. They even use it in a selling point with the backward compatibility program. So for them to do this, in my opinion, comes off as hypocritical. Because closing that store, they know good and well a good number of Xbox exclusive games go down the drain right along with it. And the fact that they stopped the backward compatibility program, that only magnifies the problem. Only around 600 games actually made it into the program to begin with. So that means over 70% of their games aren't even backward compatible. Now don't get me wrong here. To their credit, they definitely do better with backward compatibility compared to the two competitors. But they clearly aren't willing to respect people's purchases. These are Spencer's own words, by the way, as they advertise themselves to be. Now with any luck, Xbox fans will force a 180 the same way that PlayStation fans did. At least personally, that's what I'm hoping. Now for everyone cheering on that supposedly bright digital future, hope you're starting to realize just what you're cheering on. You're cheering on the decreasing of options and the further eroding of whatever control that you, the customer, has. And as time goes on, this can and will only get worse if people don't start fighting back. One of the problems here is that so many gamers have this very defeatist mindset. They'll give excuses like, for example, well, it's going to happen anyway. And you know what? That's not necessarily true. If you speak loudly enough, keep that money in your wallet, make a stand, things can change. Do you need proof? Look at the NFT situation. The industry tried to push that hard. Now NFT in gaming is all almost but near vanished. Need another example? How about loot boxes? Remember when major publishers were trying to push that on us? Gamers were way vocal about that. Heck, even some governments got involved. And now, just like the NFTs, loot boxes also seem to be on their last fumes. My point here is, if you actually start fighting for things to be better, good things can happen, and things just might be able to actually be better. But you have to make it happen. It's not just about talking, it's about actually doing. Now what holds us back is tribalism. Instead of being universally vocal, you have people saying things like this. Remember when Sony enabled PS3 PC on the PS4/PS5? Oh right. Never mind that Nintendo shut the 2012 Wii U store in early 2023, which so far seems completely forgotten already. Let's play whataboutisms. This right here is the kind of thing that needs to stop. Stop worshiping companies just because you bought into their ecosystem. It's okay to admit when something is wrong. What's not okay is when there's clearly an issue and you turn a blind eye to it just because you like the brand and or company. I'm a Sony guy. I admit that through and through. And let me tell you, when they first announced that Legacy Store closure, I was extremely vocal and angry about that. When Nintendo closed their store for the first time with the original Wii, I literally said that Nintendo's fans need to get vocal. It's not about whataboutisms. It's about the general health for every gamer involved. People have to stop thinking for themselves and think about the whole. Now I've said this many times before. Things that happen in the industry should matter to all gamers. Because good, bad, or otherwise, if it's profitable, others will copy it. So if something is bad, we need to put these companies on notice. Speak with our voices, and more importantly, with our wallets. No more making excuses. No more buying things because, well, my friends buy it, or I have the rest of the parts of the franchise, so I might as well buy the rest. All those deflections and excuses, they need to stop. Because for every shield you give these corporations, you make it that much easier for them for you to abuse your rights. And you all need to ask yourselves this. Do you honestly and truly think that your games will be safe if physical games go away? If you need the answer to that, just ask all those people that bought EA's Tetris Effect on the iOS. Ask them about that. Hey everyone, thanks for taking the time to stay until the end of the video. I just want to take a moment to let everyone know about our weekly and monthly giveaways. We give PSN or Amazon cards to a random member every Saturday. And at the end of the month, we give out a full-blown physical game. Now, to have a shot at winning the goods, all anyone has to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Twitch channel, or our website and leave a comment. To be fair, it's probably good that you join up to all three, just to give you a better chance. Now, there are times that we actually give PayPal money instead, in case we can't find a card or a game for whatever region that the winner hails from. Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave a comment or, see the details at the website. Thanks everyone, and I hope you all have a great day.